Everybody. Welcome to the last day of October. Can you believe it? It feels like the last day of October. To let you know, pre-warn you, you might hear lots of background noise because the crepe myrtle trees need to be trimmed and it is super duper windy outside. It is so windy. And they're hitting the side of my studio, the windows, the walls. Y'all know that song? Hi, everybody. Last day of October. Today, you know what? I titled this video Weekly Hangout and clue number 9 of Festive Fancy Work because we're not sewing anything. We're just hanging out as I reveal part 9 of Festive Fancy Work. Hi, everybody. It's so great to see you. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I have some fun stuff to share with you today, and we're going to take a look at part number 9. How many people, by a show of hands, are making this quilt? If you're not, it's okay. I'm not mad at you. I'm just wondering, how many? Anita said, boo. We are ready for all of our 9 trick-or-treaters. That's how many we get. Since we've moved in, it's 2 groups of kids, a total of 9 of them. And we freeze-dried some banana pudding bites. They all know we do freeze-dried stuff. And I talked to a group of kids the other day, and they are so excited. I didn't tell them what we were making. I'm getting kind of burned out of candy, y'all. So we did freeze-dried banana pudding bites. And they are delicious. So we're excited to see the kids. And they're excited to see what we're giving out this year. Beverly said, I think fall has landed. I think you're right. I think you're right, Bev. It's chilly in here. It's actually colder in this room than it is outside, but it feels lovely outside. My little toes are frozen. Harlan got me some toe socks. They are the weirdest feeling, weirdest looking socks ever, but they're actually kind of nice because I can still wear my Birkenstocks because my foot has been hurting. Anita, you just found me. I'm so glad you're here. Guess what, Anita? I was just looking right before we got started, and I have 783 videos that you can binge watch. But get ready to add 2 more to that number, 785, because tomorrow morning I'm releasing the turkey video, y'all. I know many of you have been waiting for that. And Sunday or Monday, it's already uploaded. I just have to press play. I have another video. I'm going to show you what that one is. So 2 more videos coming up. They're pre-recorded. They're not live. And super fun. Lynn says it's her brother's birthday. He's 70 today. You're making mug rugs for Christmas. Yay! Everybody loves a mug rug, don't they? Are y'all ready to take a look at clue number 9 before I just ramble on for the whole entire time? I'm going to move you down to my desk. Here we go. Clue number 9, 4 little squares. Right here are mine. You know what I've decided? I've decided I'm not going to stitch them together yet until we do clue number 10, and I have 1 entire row that I can just sit down at the sewing machine and join all 8 pieces together to make a row, and then I can add it to my quilt. Do you know what I'm saying? That makes sense to me. So if you're doing the applique version, here's your 4 pages, right? One thing I wanted to note, if you're doing the embroidery version, I sent out the email yesterday, and the email is going to look a little different. It's only going to have 2 stitch files because look at this. Let me get my blocks all lined up. Here we go. 9, 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? These are the 4 blocks. This one and this one are exactly the same. and this one are exactly the same. So once you have this in your embroidery machine, you're going to stitch this one out, take it out of your hoop, put some more batting and fabric in, and stitch it again. That's going to give you these two. And then you're going to open up the other file and stitch this one, and then repeat it again and stitch this one. So instead of just having 4 individual files, they're both the same. These are the same. These are the same, right? And that gives you the deer's little face and chin. And then another design is starting in here. You see that? Chrissy says, I have a friend that wants the turkey. All right, Miss Chrissy. Well, tomorrow morning it comes out. The video will be uploaded. The pattern will be uploaded. Just to let y'all know, if you are Patreon members, the pattern's free. And the pattern's also going to be in my Etsy shop. So if you're not on Patreon, it's not a big deal, right? You can still get the turkey. There's the 4 blocks. See that? Isn't that so cool? Wanda says Lance is ready to make a big pot of chili. That sounds perfect for today. I was thinking I was going to make some corn chowder for supper. But chili sounds even better. Wanda says, I'm guessing the next design is a candle. My lips are sealed, Wanda. My lips are sealed. But isn't that really cool? Now, do you want to see something also really cool? I've been getting in and prepping all my stuff for the studio tour, right? And last week, at the end of the week, maybe it was Saturday, I ordered a bunch of walls that I can display stuff on. I got 4 walls like this that have wheels on them. I can move around, right? And hook stuff too. But this is where we are through clue 8, right? Doesn't that look really cool? Like a sweater. And then we start with the clue 9, which I just showed you, right? That's not on here. But doesn't that look really cool? It needs a good press because, see, it's a little wonky on the bottom because I haven't pressed it. But yeah, I got 4 of those walls, and then I got 2 great big 6-panel walls, which are perfect because I can block off my kitchen and pantry during the studio tour. And they have lots and lots of space on them. Do you want to see one of them? I've started putting stuff on there. It's probably not how it's going to stay, but just to, you know, playing around with it. Fed up is cooking beans, cornbread, fried potatoes, and salmon patties for dinner. If I could get there in an hour's worth of time, you'd be setting me a plate at your table. That sounds so good. Don't you love food in the cooler months? I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a good salad. But that is my comfort food. Could you post a video or photos when your tour is ready to go? Wanda, I think that's a really good idea. I think that's a good idea. I'll do a walkthrough of my studio and my dining room and the living room because I think that that's going to have to be the flow of things. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, that's not going to stay there. I just did that so you could see the whole quilt up to this point. But do y'all notice this? During last week's quilt retreat, at the last minute on Sunday, I decided to rearrange just a little bit. Nothing drastic. But it had been bugging me for like a week and a half that I wanted to move this shelf. And so I moved that shelf right there. And believe it or not, y'all, you can't see the whole shelf, but it's not much taller than what you see. It's a little wider than what you can see. That is my entire fabric stash. I have had fabric stashes that would put this to shame in my lifetime. But to this point, this is what I have left. And this is what I can maintain. Do you know what I'm saying? Budget-wise and space-wise. And yeah, I moved to that there, and I feel like it is so much more productive when I'm looking for something. And I like it. Oh, that sounds so good. That sounds so good. I'm getting hungry. I had a dumb packet of ramen for lunch, which was the worst thing ever because now I have horrible indigestion. Like, I don't know why we keep buying that junk. Besides, it's cheap and fast, right? Uh, Besides that, it is absolutely, I used to love, I don't even like it anymore. I don't know why we continue to eat that. And it hurts me. Do you know what I'm saying? Ugh. But that's what I had for lunch. Other stuff. Do you want to see the turkey that's coming out tomorrow morning? Have you seen it on my Facebook page yet? The turkey. So I put 2 layers of cotton batting in mine so I can set my rolls on it like a trivet. You don't have to do that. Isn't that so dang cute? I love it. Y'all know me, I'm all about the scrappy stuff anyway. But I used scraps in this, and I think it is so dang cute. And it's humongous. It's roughly 20 inches wide and 22 inches tall. Made like this. You could make this bigger, like a centerpiece for your table, a wall hanging, quilts, you know, whatever, by putting it on a square or rectangle background fabric that's bigger. And you'd have a bigger centerpiece for your table, whatever, right? But if you were to make it like this, that's about how big it is. Isn't that so dang cute? I hope I have time to make a couple more of them. I love it. Uh, I feel like this is going to be show and tell Friday. I have lots of stuff to show you. Meatloaf, potatoes, and green beans last night. You're speaking my love language. That's my love language. Let me pull you down to my table because I want to show you a couple other things, okay? Like last week, I feel like I didn't have much to talk about, but a lot has changed in a week's time, and I have lots of stuff to talk about today. So that's clue number 9, okay? And before I move on and just start showing other stuff, like if you were making this quilt and you want to share pictures of it, I would love to see it. Terry is doing it in cross stitch, and she's going to send me another picture, and I'll have that to share with you next week of her progress on her cross stitch version, which is amazing. But I would love to see your pictures over on Creative Crew. And when you post them, if you don't mind me sharing them during our Friday Hangouts, let me know, okay? Because I would love to share them with everybody. All right, so that's 9. I've been so busy this week, y'all. Custom placemats. These are sublimated prints. Isn't that awesome? That I made into quilted placemats. See that? We designed the placemat and put our name in it. I'm going to take orders for these during the studio tour. I have a Christmas one coming. I haven't quilted it yet. So there's that design. There's that design. I feel like the quilting design needs to be different because it just fell weird in the name area. Do you know what I mean? But it feels super puffy and quilty. It's got 2 layers of batting in there. And then there's this one. And I have a Christmas one too. I just haven't quilted it yet. Isn't that awesome? Oh, you got your Santa and it's so cute. Yay! So, placemats. I am going to take orders for just the placement panel prints. Do you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to make placemats of your own and put your name in there, let me know if you're interested in that. You would get it and then quilt them and bind them yourself. You know what I'm saying? It would just be the panel printed and then you finish it however you like, right? But yeah, so there's that. I've done so much quilting this week. Do you know what I did? I pulled out the bin from like 4 or 5 years ago when we did those 52 or 53 quilt block videos every day. And I have a 50 or no, because I started assembling some of them into quilt sections and then I stopped. So I probably have maybe 30 orphaned quilt blocks that are all different. So I laid them out on the long arm and started quilting them. And this is one of them. This was the spools block. I did a crosshatch quilting on it. 2 layers of batting. Isn't that pretty? Oh, and check out this binding. I started binding these smaller projects a little bit differently and it's going so much faster. And I feel like that maybe I should do a video on that because if you have a whole bunch of things you need to add a binding to, this is going by relatively fast and it's an easy join. You know, when you work your way all the way around and you have to connect your 2 ends. Don't you hate that part? I don't hate that part anymore because it's super easy with this new method. So maybe I'll do a video on that. I mean, I didn't invent this method, but I think traditionally this is not how quilts are done with a binding. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's a way to do a binding on other stuff, but I'm doing it. But yeah, so I have a whole bunch of these quilted. What was I going to say? I still have a whole bunch left to quilt. That bin is slam packed. I have 2 full size, like queen size quilts I need to quilt. I have maybe 4 or 5 wall size quilts I need to quilt. And like a twin size quilt I need to quilt. So I think I'll be working every day until the end of November. But yeah, so that, and I forgot to show you. Did I show you this? This is my wall. I meant to pull that picture up a few minutes ago. This is a 6-panel pegboard wall, and I got 2 of them. So that one is hiding my desk in the corner of that room. And the other one will go in front of the door to my kitchen and then the door of my pantry. Do you know what I'm saying? But I love that, right? The placemats, that's one large print. The print is 16 by, how big is that print? 13 by 19 or 12 and a half by 18 and a half. That's how big. Sorry, I had to think for a second. This is one print, one panel, and it's printed just like I print the Santa Clauses. You know what I'm saying? It looks like it might have been pieced, right? But we designed it to look like that. But it's one print, and we just change out the name in the middle. So that's my wall. And then, what else? What else? Oh, so the turkey video comes out tomorrow morning. And then I haven't decided, either Sunday or Monday. If you have an embroidery machine and you're looking for Christmas ornaments, I finally finished digitizing my manger. So see that? Isn't that so pretty? There's one in blue and white. And then there's one in black and gold metallic thread for my metallic thread lovers, Miss Donna. That's the King Star thread that you sent me like a year ago. I use it sparingly because I feel like I save it for special projects. And this is a special project. Do you know what I'm saying? Isn't that so pretty? So the video for this goes step by step how you stitch this out, right? And this will be in my Etsy shop when that video comes out. It stitches in a 5x7 hoop, so that's great, right? I really feel like that's probably one of the most popular hoop sizes, but it's a nice size ornament. See that? Super easy to make. Do you know what else I did for the first time while I was making these? Is I put the rotary blade in my Scan and Cut. Why haven't I been doing that the whole time? I've had the rotary blade. I got it back in February. Today was the first time I used it. Why? Why do we do that as crafters? We buy supplies and then we just don't use them. Game changer cutting felt with a Scan and Cut, let me tell you. And I don't endorse Scan and Cut. I don't sell the parts. I don't make any commit. I'm just a user. Let me tell you, if you have a Scan and Cut that has the capability of a rotary blade, you might want to check it out. It was a game changer. It cut the felt pieces so cleanly for this. Yeah, Georgette said the rotary blade cuts so nice. It does. Why haven't I? Today's the first time I used it. Will it be out before December the 2nd? What's today? Today's the 31st. Sunday's the 2nd. Can y'all hear Dolly? It won't be out before Sunday. But let me write on my calendar, I will release the video Sunday. How about that? Let me write it down before I forget. I don't know who she's barking at. There's nobody out there. I have to write stuff down or else I totally forget. And a lot of times people say, Lisa, how do you get so much stuff done? It's because I make lists and I write stuff down and then I have to do it. Release the ornament video. All right, Wanda. Sunday. I hope that's not too late for whatever. I saw you said you were going to make 12 of them or something. The good news is they stitch out pretty quick. So like if you prep all your pieces and have it ready to go, I feel like it would go by pretty quick. Faye says, I too bought a rotary blade and have yet to be unpacked. Let me tell you, Faye, I'm sitting here and I'm trying to, the Scan and Cut cuts felt without the rotary blade just fine. I've cut felt so many times with just the normal blade, just fine. The rotary blade cut it more cleanly. Do you know what I'm saying? I've cut felt, and then you know felt has a little like fuzzies when you cut it. I cut it perfectly, but there's always like one or two little fuzzy strands that didn't get cut. So you just snip them, you know? There was none of that with the rotary blade. It was just nicely, cleanly cut. It was such a clean cut that when the mat came off and I looked at the felt, I didn't see any cut marks. And I was like, it didn't work. That stinks. But then I lifted up the felt and there were my 3 hearts. And I was like, it worked perfectly. So Sharon has one and she hasn't used it either. I can't say anything because, you know, y'all are just like me. We get these things because we got to have them, and then we just don't utilize them. You know, we don't put them to use. Break them out, y'all. I'm telling you from experience today, it works so good. I used the regular mat. Not the fabric mat, not any other mat. I used my regular mat. Now let me say, my regular mat has got a tiny bit of stick left to it. It's perfect for me. I love it. I don't like my regular mat when it's brand new. It's got a little tiny bit of stick. Not enough stick to stick on felt and keep it in place. Perfect for me. That's how I like it. So I take some 505 spray and spray the back of my felt like that. No more, no less. Quick little spritzes and put it on my mat, and it holds perfectly. It releases perfectly. And so I use my regular mat for everything once it gets to this magic spot where it is, right? A regular mat, I feel like it's way too sticky when you first get it for a lot of things. And I have a fabric mat, and I've used it. But I love me a regular mat for everything. So there's that. The ornament Sunday. That video will come out. Okay? And one more thing I'm working on. I have not made a video for it. I just finished digitizing this last night, and I've stitched out 2 of them. And I feel like the file is perfect. I'm going to go into production mode on making these. Hold on a second. Let me grab this. A while back ago, it was at least a year, maybe more than that, maybe like 2 years ago, I came out with a pattern for this. Do y'all remember this? It has a little hanger. It holds tea bags, right? Because I always run down to like 1 or 2 tea bags in my box. I'll go out and buy another box. I only have so much room on the shelf for my boxes, so I randomly always have this 1 or 2 tea bags to use before I open the new box, right? This is perfect for that. There's like 2 years ago, I did this video. Made this on the sewing machine, right? You can check out that tutorial, like on YouTube if you search Lisa Capin tea holder, the video will probably come up. We made that with a sewing machine. I digitized a smaller version to stitch out in a 5x7 hoop. Ta-da! Now I feel like this one's a little bit wider, so you could do the tea bags like this, right? Gift cards. It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 pockets. See that? The top pocket like that. And it has a little hanger. And I did the new to me binding on this too. See how thin that binding is? See that? I'll have to do a video on this. Super duper easy and pretty dang quick. But I think I'm going to make several of these different themes. I'm doing a couple Christmas ones, but then just regular scrappy fabrics for most of them. I feel like when you do Christmas themed fabrics, you're kind of limiting the use of them for Christmas time. You know what I mean? Although I wouldn't care if I only had one of these. I would keep this out year round. But the majority of them I'm not using Christmas fabric on. Fold in half, stick in purse. Oh, yeah. There you go. Now, I did use felt in the middle of this. So it has some nice body to it. Do you know what I'm saying? And it quilts it, which you really can't see, but I feel like it's necessary to give it some structure. If you used batting instead of felt, it would probably bend a lot easier. It's not super stiff, but it does have some nice structure to it. I feel like the last few days I've been using felt like Donna uses Peltex. Right? I've used it a lot, and I've actually fallen in love with it. I just ordered 100 more 8.5 by 11 sheets of felt, and it was only like 11 bucks. And the cool thing is the way that I use it, it doesn't matter what color the felt is because you're never gonna see it. But yeah. Is that everything? I feel like that's everything. Hi, Miss Hazel. Hello. Connie says, even put a button on for a gift. Yes. See, now y'all are thinking. So that's what I was up to about 11 o'clock last night, putting a binding on this. Okay, I feel like that's everything. Yeah, I think it is. That's all what I've been up to this week. If you're on Patreon, I don't know if you've seen the dates for November. And I'm mentioning this because tomorrow's November. This month, for November, we're doing 6 quilt retreats. 3 hours a piece in the evenings so that I can work on small stuff. Like I am going to have a whole bunch of small projects quilted and squared up. I'll be doing bindings. And so check out the dates on the Patreon page if you want to hang out. That's what I'll be doing. Bindings on lots of stuff. I might even be stitching out some ornaments, right? I might be doing both at the same time. So yeah, check out those dates. I did have to make a change to the dates. So if you saw the dates before today, I did change one of the dates because soon as I, wouldn't you know it, soon as I made the dates, I get an email and I have to go to a meeting on one of the nights. So I changed the day on one of the days. So check that out if you haven't seen the update. This is going to be a busy month. Dawn, how is your Sunday Stars coming? How is that going? feel like you're in the beginning thralls of Sunday Stars when it's all lovely and so much fun, and you haven't done that many sashing units yet. I love Sunday Stars. Don't get me wrong. Sunday Stars is an awesome quilt to make. It is a lot of fun. I'm one of those people who lose interest really quickly when doing parts that are the same. Repeating the same thing over and over again. I lose interest really fast. And so Sunday Stars, and I designed that thing. And Sunday Stars, a lot of the clues do repeat themselves, but not back to back to back. And there's really two main different stars in that quilt. So I feel like you're doing something different most of the time. But there's a lot of sashing pieces in that quilt. And I didn't really think about that when I designed it. Do you know what I'm saying? It was only in about halfway in that I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of doing these sashing pieces. And but it's so worth it. Believe me, it is very much worth it. And then I give kudos to those who have made 2 of those quilts, like Daniel. He made 2 of those quilts. And I don't know if you've seen Daniel's Sunday Star quilts, Dawn, but if you saw those, it would be motivation to keep going because they're phenomenal. What is the weight of the felt? Donna, it is super thin. Let me show you. I don't know the weight because I don't have the package anymore. It's super thin and really lightweight. See that? It's flimsy. But I just ordered more. So let me pull up that order. Maybe it'll tell me. But look, it's like the cheapest craft felt that you can buy. All right, it is super cheap. But I like it because it's not really fuzzy. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's thin. See how thin that is? Let me see if it tells me the weight when I look it up. It's like the cheapest ever. Anyway, I ordered a big pack of it quite some time ago. But since I've been using it, I'm using up my sheets. So I got some more coming. Hold on a second. Arriving is coming tomorrow. This, that. You have to push 500 buttons to get to it. It says stiff, 50 colors, 8 by 12 inch sheets, thin felt fabric sheets, stiff felt sheets for crafts, patchwork sewing projects. I probably wouldn't make a quilt out of this, I can tell you that, but that's what it says. Hold on a second. See more. I'm looking. I don't see where it says a weight. It's so cheap, it doesn't even tell you how much it weighs. But it's perfect for projects like this. Do you know what I'm saying? And this has 3 pieces in it. It has 2 smaller hearts that fit right within that inner heart, and then 1 more heart that comes to the edge. So it gives it the nice little quilty texture. Like, I don't know if you can see the puffiness around the design or not. See the little puff? The little puff right there. See that? But it is a nice structure without being too stiff and rigid. and it stitches through beautifully. Even the design, which is going through 3 layers of felt. Do you know what I mean? Uh, so yeah, it works great. Peggy has me on the big TV. Don't look too close, Peggy. My hair's sticking up because it's so windy outside. And I took Munchie out about 10 minutes before we got started, and now my hair won't stay down. So if you're watching me on the big TV, take a couple steps back. Nita's working on more rope bowls. Did y'all see Nita's rope bowl? She did one with a design in the bottom of it, which was phenomenal. It's on Creative Crew if you missed it. You're putting together a collage style t-shirt quilt. I would have never been able to figure out how I wanted to place the t-shirts if it wasn't for you and your tips using Inkscape. Isn't that a game changer? Like, I feel like it takes all the guesswork out. Doesn't it? Nita said, Daniel is a rock star. Let me tell you, he is, right? Would it be able to hold a lot of stitches? I feel like it would, especially if you double it up. Do you know what I'm saying? How many stitches? I don't know how many stitches are in this design. Your cards have lots and lots and lots of stitches. I've seen your card designs that you stitch out. I don't know if it's at that level. Do you know what I mean? But I haven't tried it either, so I don't know. But I feel like this stuff is, I keep saying cheap. It is cheap. But I feel like for the price you pay for this, you could certainly double or triple the layers without it still being expensive. Do you know what I mean? How many sheets am I getting? I'll tell you how many sheets I'm getting. Oh, it's a 50 pack, not a 100 pack. I was getting carried away. I ordered 2 of them. That's why I ordered 2 50 packs. That's why I have 100. But it was $12.99 for 50 sheets. So, and I got 2 packs coming. Because I'm using it up. And now that I've discovered that the rotary blade cuts it so cleanly, I'll use it even more. Do you know what I'm saying? It was square, wasn't it? Her rope bowl? Yes. I don't know how she did that. Peggy said we'd get tired of her wind chimes today. It must be windy there for you too, Peggy. It is blowing a gale outside. Not today, but was it last weekend? Down the way some. 4 or 5 miles away, there's another farm stand. Her farm stand blew over and everything was totaled. That's how windy it's been. I feel like for sure if ours wasn't anchored down, it would have blown over today. Yeah, I don't know how she did that square one. I feel like Nita needs to make a tutorial on that. Don't you think so? So that's everything for today. Harlan just got back from Tractor Supply. So we're gonna get ready to make some corn chowder for supper and hand out freeze-dried banana pudding bites to the 9 trick-or-treaters that we get. They're pretty awesome kids. I feel like I'm Willy Wonka. Do you know what I'm saying? And their eyes. Because we don't stock the farm stand with like stuff to eat. But they know that we do freeze-dried candy and freeze-dried ice cream and stuff. So they'll all come to the door, you know, drop their bikes in the driveway and run up to the door. Dolly's going nuts. And they're like, do you have any freeze-dried candy? And it's like, no. You have to order it because we don't just, if we had freeze-dried candy, I'd eat it all the time. Do you know what I'm saying? Even if I'm getting tired of it, I'll eat it if it's just around. So we don't just have it sitting around. But I will make some for you if you want some. What do you want? And they'll be like, we want Skittles and we want Jolly Ranchers and we want this and that. I'm like, okay, come back on Tuesday after school. It'll be ready for you. And the last time they came, they wanted ice cream. So we did ice cream for them. So, and then I saw them the other day. They were riding their bikes down the dirt road next to our house. And I was like, y'all are going to like what we're doing for trick-or-treating. So they were excited. Oh, Nita, you could do it. I feel like you'd be a good teacher, Nita. Daniel said, save some for the studio tour. Let me tell you, Daniel, I have 20 packs in there. We only get 9 trick-or-treaters. But I feel like it's a long time to save them because they're so good. We already said we're going to have to make more for the studio tour. Because the extras that didn't fit into the bags we did for trick-or-treating, we put them in tubs, and there's only 2 left. And I'm not the one who's been eating them. Somebody else. We're going to have to make more for the studio tour. But they're really good. So we took vanilla wafer cookies, and we made some banana pudding and some homemade whipped cream, and then blended it together so it's light and airy. And we did dollops of that on the cookies. And then we chopped banana slices and put that on top and freeze dried it. And I would be really honest with you, they're delicious, but I would do some the next time with just the pudding dollops and the banana slices on them. I could give or take the cookies on the bottom. My favorite part is the pudding with the whipped cream and bananas. I could eat 1,000,000 of those. So next time we do it, I'm doing some with the cookies and a lot without the cookies. It really doesn't need the cookie on the bottom, if you ask me. Darlene, I was wondering where you were. All right, everybody, I feel like I've just like mind dumped all this stuff on you. I feel like I've been really talkative today. But I had a lot that I wanted to share with you. And if you can't tell, I'm super excited about all this stuff, right? And was it hard to price my stuff for the studio tour? To be really honest, I haven't priced nothing yet. That is hard for me. And I was even like showing some stuff to Harlan last night. I'm like, would you pay so-and-so for this? And he's like, yeah, I feel like that's a good price for it. Like some stuff, I feel like I'm so conflicted on it. Do you know what I mean? Like some stuff like this, I made this into a trivet, so it's a useful, right? Um, it's just a quilt block trivet, you know? I feel like this is different than something like that, the pixel quilt. I feel like this is different than, I did a landscape quilt class on Patreon, and we created an art quilt from a photograph that my mom took. And not to not to toot my own horn, but it is beautiful. And then if you step back away from it, it looks like her photograph. I feel like that is art, and that should be priced differently than something like this. Do you know what I'm saying? But I also feel like the dynamics of this event is more minded for artists showcasing their artwork. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like the pricing can be different than if I were to take that art quilt and go set up at the farmer's market in town. I might be wrong. I don't know. I'm conflicted about the pricing, to be really honest with you. So that's why I want to have a huge array of stuff with price points all over the place. It's a hard one. It's a hard one. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm making lots of smaller things. Even this is art. Like if you make this, I feel like this is art. If you get these files and you make these ornaments, I feel like this is art. It's an ornament too, but that's art. I don't know. I'm conflicted about the pricing, and that's a hard thing for me. I'm going to have a couple of big quilts. You know, I made the Lone Star quilt. It's humongous. I haven't quilted it yet, but I'm not putting a $200 price tag on that quilt. Do you know what I'm saying? If that quilt sells, I want to be fairly compensated for that. Do you know what I mean? If my butterfly pixel quilt sells, I want to be fairly compensated for that. You know, what kind of price tag do you put on that? Not $75, I can tell you. I feel like, you know, I want to be fairly compensated as the artist who made that quilt. And if you made the butterfly pixel quilt and you want to sell it, I feel like you should be fairly compensated for that. It's a lot of work. Nita said, pricing is what I struggle with. I know, right? It's so tricky. And then, you know, it doesn't help in this day and time which we find ourselves in. Do you know what I'm saying? I think it all comes down to the kind of show atmosphere you're in. And I've never done the studio tour before. It's my first time. But I feel like I'm in a lineup of some really phenomenal artisans. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, I don't know. I'm hoping that it does well. If anything, to be really honest, even if I don't sell anything and I just have people come see what I do and I just talk about the stuff that we make, you know, and get some excitement about that and maybe convert a couple people into making some stuff, that would be worth it. Do you know what I'm saying? I hope so, darling. We'll see. But, you know, even if I don't sell anything, I think, well, it's a lot of work. It's going to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the day after Thanksgiving. And then the next weekend it's Saturday and Sunday. But y'all know me, I'm such a social butterfly. I'm actually excited for it. Y'all are so sweet. I feel like anybody who made the butterfly pixel quilt is an artisan. That was a labor of love. I feel like, you know, I feel like most of the time as quilters, we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think if you make a quilt, you have the patience of a saint, and you should respectfully think of yourself as an artisan. I don't care what quilt it is, it takes patience, right? So we don't give ourselves enough credit. None of us do. And we should think of ourselves differently. That's my rant for the day. And I'm gonna go start making some corn chowder because I'm starving. And now I really want meatloaf now, to be honest with you, and cornbread. Hazel, do you know I would give anything in the world to have you visit. Do you know that? I really would. Do you know how excited I would be? More excited than I am today, I would tell you that. All right, everybody, I am off. I'm gonna go check on Harlan. He looks like he has been beat up. I'm scared for him to go into town because they're gonna think that I've been abusing that man. He got hit in the nose with a 2x4 from the skill saw. I don't know what kind of saw it is. It's a table saw with a blade in the middle. Backfired a log right into his face. So he's got a bruise and a cut right down his nose. The next day, he was out with the doggies in the back field near the beehive, and he thought it was a good idea to lift the lid on one of the beehives, stung right in the eyelid. So his whole eye is puffy and red, above it and below it. It looks like I punched him right in the eye. He's in bad shape. He got into some Virginia creeper. So he's got a Virginia creeper rash on his arm and on his side. He is suffering from head to toe with injuries, and I feel so bad for him. I know he'll be glad when the shutdown is over so he can go back to work. He's getting too many injuries working around here. All right, everybody. I look forward to part 10 coming out so you can see the rest of this row. And yeah, I look forward to hanging out with you next Friday. I can't promise you I'll have this much stuff to talk about. We'll see. But yeah, I'm going to start calling it like weekly hangout with a clue reveal. Because it only takes a second to show you the pieces, right? Deborah said, no pics, please. Yeah, you don't want to see it. All right, everybody. I will see you next Friday. Have a safe weekend and a good week next week. Yay, November. Bye.
In the quiet of the evening light, with needles dancing, stitching him tight, each patch a story, every thread unbinding love and fabric where we belong. Every stitch a whispered prayer, in every corner I find you there. our hearts align.